Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Room Number 9. So last time I left you guys off here, right before we got a choice whether to pick task 1 or 2, whether to cut into Seiji or... No, whether to cut into Daichi or have Seiji pass out from pleasure. Yeah. But also, before we even get into this video, I just want to respond to some comments that have surfaced on a recent video for this game. Back in episode 5, I don't know what episode it is now, but I'm very ahead in my recording compared to what is currently on YouTube. So I'm several episodes ahead. But yeah, in episode 5, some people was telling me that apparently I am being a little bit too joking about Seiji and Daichi's situation, and it's just a game is honestly my opinion about all of these games that I play, because I mean every one of these games that I play are just... they're ridiculous. They're stupid. Nothing really makes sense. And I'm just taking that stupid logic that the game presents me with, and I'm just having fun with it. You know, if this happened to real people, obviously, you know, this would be horrific. But it isn't happening to real people, so I'm just having fun with it. You know, when I say that Daichi and Seiji, I mean, it's not even a joke anymore. I mean, I started off joking saying that Daichi and Seiji were enjoying this, but I mean, they're enjoying it now. You know, it's like, because it's a game, of course they were going to enjoy it, because there was no point to even making a game in which, you know, the characters didn't enjoy having sex with each other. So, like, knowing that, even though at first, you know, in the game when it seemed pretty horrific that they would have to do these things with each other, even though they're not into each other, you know, because it's a game, I knew that, hey, they must be into each other, because why else would you make the game, you know? It's like... so that's... I don't know. So you can either still think I'm being, insensitive or something, or you can, you know, go with that, accept what I said. But yeah, okay, so I'm gonna use the toys on Seiji because there wasn't any other choice, obviously. Very odd that use the toys on Seiji is option 2 from the top, even though it's clearly task 1 here? Very strange.
Yeah. 俺がやる.
It's really... let's go on with the music. But really, it's Seiji who's gonna do it. Again, last video I think I went on a whole monologue about it. Or maybe it was the video prior, I don't even remember. About how they're... about... it's not... the real torture isn't being the one who gets abused, it's being the abuser. Really stupid logic. It's still such stupid logic. I don't even know what to say about it. I considered all the conditions of our options before I answered. The choice didn't require me to be involved much, and it wasn't asking us to do anything life-threatening like choking. I was a bit concerned about the losing consciousness part, but the other option involves spilling blood. I didn't really care so much about getting hurt, but I didn't want to force Seiji to hold the knife. You see, like, seriously, they consider being the abuser the real struggle, the real challenge, the real pain. Crazy. Like if I was in this situation, you know, and, you know, I was in there with someone else, and I had to pick to be the abuser or the abused, I'd be the abuser every time. Get real. There was the hypothetical concern that our activities here could end up sticking in the form of some kind of fetish. Not unless you already liked it beforehand. It's not like... I don't know about that. I was pretty sure I was still fine in that department. But to be honest, even if this experience turned me gay or something, straight conversion therapy, that'd be fine. It'd probably make things easier in a way. Well, I mean, yeah, it would make things easier in the sense that you've always had homosexual thoughts, and now that you think this experiment turned you gay, you could finally be free and open with those thoughts instead of hiding them away. So yeah, I guess it would make things easier in a way. It hasn't actually changed anything, it just changed your perception of things. I couldn't stand the idea of Seiji developing a taste for cutting people up. I couldn't let that happen. What? He's gonna turn into some kind of sadist? Some kind of murdering sadist that cuts people up? I don't... these guys think too hard about these tasks. With each task, I'd felt my heart twist and distort in some way, and I didn't want that to happen to him. This is fine. It's fine, totally. Oh yeah, you're so tough, Daichi. You're so strong for pleasuring Seiji. What a sacrifice you're making. All for him. He considered the question. His quiet answer ended the conversation. We had a lot of time to kill. No, it's fine. I'm not going to get into my diatribe about them doing it in the morning versus the night. I spaced out in front of the TV, watching Okinawan programs full of thick local accents. I wondered what the weather was like outside. Was the sun scorching hot? The wind harsh and salty? Was the wind ever salty? Or was there a storm raging since it was a typhoon season? But whatever it was like, it might as well have been happening on another planet for all we knew. The only wind I could feel was from the ice-cold AC, and we couldn't open the windows to let fresh air in. We were completely detached from the outside world. I had to wonder where Seiji and I would end up after all this.
Seiji, 少し飲まないか?
Like alcohol?
夜まで時間あるしさ、昼酒もいいだろ?
I opened the fridge and pulled out some soda and ice. I dropped a few ice cubes into each glass, poured in some whiskey from the minibar, then finished by adding some Coke and stirring it with a spoon.
はい、ウイスキーコーク.
Wow, you're a little mixologist. I mean, I'm thinking about it, and did the task exclude the use of alcohol? I don't think it did it? I mean, I don't know. So maybe, I was thinking this task is going to be like the hardest one yet, just because falling asleep with a bunch of vibrators, that sounds kind of hard. But maybe if you had some alcohol, it would be pretty easy. He looked a little unsure of what to do with the glass I'd set down on the table for him. I joined him in the seating area, keenly aware of his gaze. Seiji had a pretty impressive alcohol tolerance, even though he didn't normally drink, but this time he just silently brought the glass to his mouth. The fragrant alcohol and bubbly soda tickled my throat as I sipped my drink. Neither of us said a word. He'd occasionally shoot me a perplexed expression like he wanted to say something, but he never did.
Daichi, 大丈夫か? そんなに飲めないし、大丈夫.
We only had 2 small bottles of whiskey in the room. Same with the rum. It'd be hard to get drunk off that. I just wanted to forget a little. And so I wasted the already meaningless time, not even being able to drink off what little alcohol we had until night finally came. Seiji went to take a shower. The sound had become so familiar by now. He really didn't need to bathe though. He'd been showering twice every day, so there wasn't really any body odor on him. I know, right? Plus, I was used to Seiji's smell by now. I'm sure the reverse was true for him. Still, I understood how he felt. He needed that time alone to himself, to brace himself emotionally. It's more like to just, you know, soak in how much fun you're about to have. I got the implements together and looked over the instructions on the tablet. I was calm. I knew I could do this. Yeah, you're the one who needs to be calm for this. I wouldn't have to put his life on the line or choke him or anything. I mean, the task is for him to pass out. So, would you not choke him to aid things? Curious. I was going to be fine. I can't stand it. I can't stand how they're just like, how Daichi's like, I'm going to be fine. I can do this. It really pisses me off, and it honestly, it makes me not able to take it seriously, and that's why I joke about everything in this game, because stop acting like you're the one who's actually gonna have the hard time here. It's like, how can I take it seriously when Daichi thinks that watching Seiji go through the experiment, that's not what it's called, the trial? I forget what they call it. But whatever. Go through the trial, that's the harder part than actually going through the trial itself. Like that. How can I take it seriously when they act like that? I can't take it seriously, is the point. You can't. Well, our work was done for the day. I began to remove the implements from Seiji's sweat and urine-stained body. You ruined the bed, Seiji. It's gonna smell like pee. That was when I realized the vibrator was still going and turned off the squirming silicone device. I was shaken by what I saw. So, guys, please, for the love of God, tell me exactly your thoughts on that scene. I need to know. I need to know how everyone feels about the scene that we just saw. Because it was very difficult to watch, very difficult to record. I did not like it at all. Like I said, the first actually difficult task, you know? The first actually difficult task. Everything they've done up until now has been fun. That wasn't that fun. That was kind of gross. And we saw the first appearance of bodily fluids that are not the fun kind. You know, bodily waste, I should say. But not the really bad bodily waste, just the, you know, number one. So not that bad. But that's just a precursor of what we will see later. I hope you're all still afraid as I am. Because that scene's coming sometime soon. I mean, there's only like 2 tasks left, so it has to be coming soon, am I right? He looked awful. His face was smeared with sweat and tears and drool. There were nasty red marks where the restraints had eaten into his skin. I made a few warm, damp towels to wipe his face, and then the rest of his body, swapping them out for clean ones as I went. But why was my heart pounding so loudly, and why did I feel like my stomach was full of lead, like I was on the verge of vomiting? I mean, he did just pee everywhere. His unconscious body was limp and heavy without his conscious mind to cooperate with me. I somehow managed to get him turned over and pulled the messy sheets out from under him. I threw them on... Well, get him off the bed, too. Don't let him touch any other part of the bed, you know. He's dirty. Flop his body on the ground. Ugh. I threw them on the ground and then pulled off the waterproof sheet after. Oh, there's a waterproof sheet? Well, isn't that kinky? The instructions had been extremely accurate. They had suggested putting a waterproof sheet because there'd be a chance he'd lose control of his bladder when he passed out. And they'd been right. Thanks, guys. He's actually okay, though, right? I didn't kill him, did I? He's okay, isn't he? Just check if he's breathing. I shifted Seiji over and put sheets back on one half of the bed, rolled him back over and got them back on the rest of the way. Then I touched Seiji's cheeks and neck. Which cheek? He was alive and breathing. He was just dead tired and sleeping. He was probably fine. Surely he'd wake up soon or tomorrow at the worst. I quietly took the toys and laundry into the exchange chambers so as not to wake Seiji. I didn't think I needed to check the score on the tablet. I was confident they'd seen Seiji screaming, wetting himself, and passing out. You guys are really... they have a lot of faith in the people running this straight conversion camp. They never check the points until the next day. They're just like, I trust them. They're good guys, you know. They wouldn't, you know, hold out those points on us. There's a lot of trust. I turned out the lights in the room and sat down on the bed with my back turned to Seiji. A little bit of the fake moonlight peeked through the curtains. It was the sickly bluish white of an LCD screen. My body felt strangely light, like I was a little buzzed or something. Nothing felt quite real. When I looked down between my legs, I still had a bit of an erection. I had a boner the whole time I was tormenting Seiji. It had gone down a bit while I was cleaning, but not when he peed. But it hadn't completely gone away. There was a faint tingling pain in my balls as well. I love that. It wasn't so painful that I couldn't stand it, but I felt awkward knowing that making myself ejaculate would solve it. Just do it. I did something horrible to Seiji, but my head felt so foggy. It made me want to get a little drunk, like I had at lunch. I couldn't feel anything. You guys are fine. I mean, tomorrow's task will be probably easier. An enema? That's it? I mean, when they said scatological, I thought it would be consumption. You know, I thought it would be a little dinner. That's it? A top helping his bottom wash out? I mean, usually, you know, the bottom does it alone, but just helping him wash out? You know, secondly, let's just discuss a little bit here. Does this mean Seiji has not been using an enema up until now? Because if he has been, this is nothing new to him, and it's just Daichi helping him. But the task is framed in such a way that it's supposed to be shocking that Seiji would even have to do this at all, much less with Daichi's help. So that means every time there has been butt-related activities for these tasks, Seiji has not cleaned himself out. How did we not see the scat earlier? Well, this is an easy task, so I don't know what you guys are complaining about. It's a little bit gross, but, like, it's so easy. These are... The only thing I could hear was the cold breeze from the AC. I felt like I was looking down at myself from outside my own body. My still completely uninjured body. If we did the incision, the thigh would probably be the best choice. Poop. It's a little bit of poop. Have you never walked into a filthy men's bathroom? Because everyone, I'm sure that's a man, has. You never walked into a filthy men's bathroom, noticed a pungent odor in the air, but you needed to go down, you needed to enter one of those stalls, but you didn't know which. You didn't know which you should enter. and you opened the door to one of the stalls, and you looked inside, and you realized you made the wrong choice because you walked into the stall with a big doo-doo in it. You know, you made the wrong choice. Then you had to go back out. You had to go back in the other stall and do your business, all while smelling someone else's duty that they didn't flush. Now, don't get me wrong, it's revolting. But would you rather cut into someone than just smell their duty? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Like, honestly, for the previous task that we just did in this video, I could see it. I could see actually cutting into Daichi, because that task was actually difficult. That I'll admit it. I've admitted it several times this video. Even though up until now I'm saying all the tasks are easy. And this task is easy too. But that last task we just did, that was hard. But now they're acting like this is too difficult? Like, Daichi's like, we can't even consider the first option. Duty? A little bit of doo-doo? Well, that's where I draw the line. He didn't say you had to eat it by the handful. They didn't say that. It's just a little duty. Just give him an enema. Like, I mean, what even is the process of that, you know, giving someone an enema? So you take the enema, you fill it up with some water, you put it up inside the other person, you squeeze it, the water gets inside them, and then they flush it out, they force the water back out, and it cleans them out. Like, it says Daichi has to help Seiji administer enema to Seiji, but like, I mean, does he have to look at it? Does he have to look directly at Seiji as he's forcing the water back out or something? Does he have to inspect the water afterwards? The filthy doo-doo water? Like, I don't think so. All you have to do is squeeze some water in an enema inside of him, and then that's pretty much it. And as I said, Seiji should have already been doing this from the start, but apparently he's disgusting. And there's probably duty everywhere in this room now. Okay. Anyway. Big diatribe, but let's get back to it. There was a lot of space there and thick subcutaneous fat. Or maybe another spot would be better, or maybe my stomach, or on my ass. I'd had my blood drawn, but it was only 600 cc. My body was working hard to make up the difference as I ate and slept properly every day. Other than that, I'd remained uninjured. My old scar from when I was a kid didn't count. They hadn't really been added to since middle school anyhow. Could Seiji injure my body? I didn't really mind getting hurt. I was used to pain. But I didn't really feel anything. I didn't feel any guilt for hurting Seiji. You mean for last night? Well, you know, being in love with your friend, you know, it's kind of like that if you have to, you know, torture him in such a provocative manner. It's understandable. And that was pretty effed up. Did I get this messed up after we got here? Or was I always a piece of crap? Is it because I'm the product of an alcoholic deadbeat who got a woman pregnant, abused her and her child without supporting them financially before eventually abandoning them, and a woman who would open her legs for anyone? Well, first of all, I have to go into a little diatribe again here. God damn. Let me just... First of all, apparently now Daichi's doubting himself and he's thinking horribly of himself as though he had the choice in any of this. And maybe that's what the people conducting this experiment want. Maybe, I mean, after all, I mean, I think someone in one of the video comment sections said something like, Daichi was probably abused as a kid, and this confirms it. Actually, I think it was confirmed a little bit earlier, if I'm not mistaken. It was confirmed a little bit earlier, I'm pretty sure. But either way, so that's why he's been getting tasks that involve, like, abusing Seiji, I think. And yeah, or being abused himself, physically. But yeah. So now he's just doubting himself, and that's probably what they want. But what I think we need to, really appreciate here is, the misogyny. The shaming a woman for the number of partners she had. Kind of misogynistic. Kind of don't care anymore, Daichi. One drop of misogyny, I don't care about you anymore. One drop. I don't care anymore. If that's why, I guess I never stood a chance. Maybe it was too late for me once I was born. Maybe it would have been better if I'd never been born. Oh my god. Dude. You see, this is why you can't repress homosexuality. Because look at how being confronted with the fact that he's gay is coming out, and like what it's doing to him. You know, like society has told him to repress it. He's told himself to repress it. And now that he knows that he is gay, and that he enjoys doing all these things with his friend, he doesn't know how to take it. You know, this is why we all need to do better as a society. I knew all too well from the psychology courses. What is wrong with me? I took in college. Abused children are prone to grow up and become abusers themselves. They call it the cycle of abuse. I distinctly recall, while I was taking notes on it in class, swearing to myself that I'd never let myself end up like that. I had my best friend Seiji, and I was living a normal life, so there's no way I'd let that happen to me. But maybe it was all pointless. Maybe all it took was the right set of circumstances. You know, trigger warning for abuse. I mean, in this game, a little bit late. A little bit late. There's been a lot of abuse so far. I mean, I was the child of two pieces of crap. Maybe that's all I could ever hope to be. So, is he just calling his mom a piece of crap? Well, I guess she did abandon him too. I didn't really care about how he proceeded. I didn't really care what happened to me anymore. Still misogynistic, though. All I cared about was Seiji. Seiji could just remain a victim. I mean, maybe it was just easier to blame it on my genes. Wait, Seiji? All I cared about was Seiji. Seiji could just remain a victim. I mean... Yeah. Because, I mean, clearly, from how hard he's taking being the abuser, I guess being the abuser must be the harder part of this. I guess. Seiji didn't need to become an abuser, but, well, I couldn't imagine him even taking a fragment of joy out of hurting someone. I couldn't let that happen to him. I couldn't let him get used to doing things like that. Only one of us had to be a piece of crap. Well, the crap's coming out of him, not you.
Seiji.
My voice came out soft and trembling. Seiji turned to look at me.
あと2回我慢してくれるか
First of all, today's task is nothing.
分かった
He gave me a deep nod, and I could see the hint of fear in his eyes. This was for the best. I mean, I get hard during doing Seiji's tasks anyway, so it's kind of fun. I couldn't let Seiji end up like me. Can't let him end up gay. Well, you know, guys, it's been a while. I'm gonna end the video here, but, yeah, I need to know everyone, not only just about the scene in this video, but also, like, just about everything that's been happening so far. Is it really harder to be the abused? Like, do you guys think that? Please let me know. I need to know. I need to know. Like, because I don't think so. And honestly, am I not taking this game seriously enough? Because as I started the episode, you know, sort of justifying my feelings so far, do you guys really think that... Obviously, if this was real, as I said, this would be awful. But, like, I can't take it seriously because of their attitudes and reactions to the tasks. It's just... Is there something wrong with me for not being able to take it seriously? Because, like I said, they make it so I can't take it seriously. Most of the time. This task was pretty brutal. But I was taking it a little bit seriously. I couldn't even listen to the moans. It was painful. It was disgusting is what it was. But, yeah, so just, you know, please respond to anything I've said in this video. I really want to see a lot of discussion in the comments, about everything. And I'll talk about it soon, I guess? As soon as I can, because, as I said, I'm extremely far ahead in my recording. Maybe I'll put recording room number 9 on pause until, like, YouTube gets caught up with all the videos I've recorded so far. So please respond in the comments. I need to know what you guys think. Alright. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.